It is a beautiful spring day here in the Texas Gulf Coast, and I'm going to be spending it painting. Outside this time, because painting inside is never a good idea. So now it is one color, except for the middle part, but my plan is to sand that a little bit and see if it'll lighten up. Then put one more layer of the red mahogany on to give it a nice darkish brown, and see what it looks like. Sunlight. This side is very uniform. This one is a little bit patchy, but you can see after lightly sanding it with the 220 grit sandpaper, that gap right there is a little bit less noticeable, or that overlap where the color was a little bit too dark. So next up, after sanding the whole thing down, I'm going to put another layer of the red mahogany on. First I got to clean all that dust off, and then I'll put the red mahogany on and give it a bit more color. Hopefully it'll all come out even this time. I'm going to do the whole sheet this time, I'm not going to break it into halves. That way I don't have another gap. I'm going to let it sit for a few minutes to allow the stain to penetrate. That'll kind of darken it. The longer you let it sit on there, the darker it'll get. And then I'll start wiping it off. You wipe off all the excess, and whatever you get is whatever you get. Hopefully we'll get it right. So this is the color we got. Looking straight at it, you can't really tell when you look at it at an angle. There's a light spot right here where I was sanding earlier. But honestly, if you don't mind it, I don't mind it either. We'll just take it out how it is. So, let's take a look here what we got. This is the current color and the new color. Hold that up. Not bad. Not a bad match at all. The next step is to fill in these little holes where the dowels were. The wood stain that I have recommended staining the wood before applying the wood filler, so we're going to try that out and see how that comes out. Then after that I'll have to waterproof the back with that waterproofing stuff that I use, and after that we'll pull out the old window. Not today though, today the weather sucks, so we'll come back to that another time and finish it up. I'm going to be using my plastic wood to fill in these holes and the corner of my flexible spatula here. Okay, and I'm just going to jam that out in there. The boat is rocking like crazy right now because of a windstorm, but I will continue on regardless. Just fill in those holes. It's kind of hard doing that one-handed, actually. So you can kind of see I'm going to be left with these little brown patches here. I'm going to have to touch those up with a little bit of the stain. According to the instructions on here, I should be able to stain them to match the rest of the wood after it has set. Alright, one of the good things about this stuff is that it can be cleaned up with a little bit of water. I'm going to clean it up now, that way it does not set and look terrible. Okay. I've got to let that dry now for several hours before I can hit it with the stain and make it look nice, but it will look nice, I think, when we're done. So at this point in the process, I've got a few little white bumps here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a Q-tip, and if I can get a good camera angle on it, I'm going to take a Q-tip and color those in nicely so that they match the rest of the wood. So I'm going to go over all of the whole shebang with a very fine grit sandpaper next. That'll help even it out, but we'll let that dry overnight and it'll look good. It is the weekend, and now on my to-do list I need to waterproof the back of this board. Then I'm going to make my cut, and take out the window and put that one in before the weather moves in. The plan is to get it done today, that way I can take my time in getting the window back up. Okay, so for this part I'm going to be using my waterproofing stain and sealer. Got one of these little roly doodads, and I'm going to just roll it on the back. So yeah. gears for a bit. We'll start working on getting the wood cut on the other side. Okay, so for this bit I have to do it by hand because underneath the wood is the fiberglass of the boat, and I don't want to make a bunch of fiberglass dust, so we're going to have to cut it by hand to make sure that I don't cut into that. I just want to talk about this saw real quick. I just picked it up a few minutes ago from the hardware store, and it is quite lovely. It is for veneer, technically, but for this purpose it's great because it has this rounded blade on the end, which allows me to cut in these tight corners right here without damaging anything around it. And it's really sharp. It's eating right through the wood. So keep working on it for a bit. So looking into the little gap there, you can see the daylight coming through the fiberglass, so that means that this is knocked free. Next up, I have to remove all the staples from this headlining material on the bottom, and then the board will be pretty much free except for the window. Making pretty good progress. I'm very happy with this investment. Window is out, and I'm ready to take the panel off. So let's get to it. Perfect. I am really glad that came out in about one piece because usually that comes out in about 3 or 4 pieces. But that is what the backside of that looks like. Very clean. I'll clean it up a little bit, and we're going to insulate this part with spray foam, stick the new board on, and we'll be good to go. There's the old panel out of the boat. So now it is time to test fit the wood. Get it in place. Try it out. Okay. So initial thoughts on it. It's a little bit short, but that is okay because it doesn't actually need to go all the way up to the end. It is a little bit long in the horizontal direction, which is an easy fix. I'll trim off a little bit of the end on the side forward, and should work out pretty nice. So get that all the way over. Not bad. Color looks good, and so does the back of my head. And now that it fits, sort of. Now it fits, so I'm going to tack it on. I've got some little brass nails here, these guys. So I'm going to tack the bottom here, and then I'm going to go on to the outside of the boat and put the spray foam insulation here in the window area, and yeah. So you might notice there's some light coming out from here where it's not really made it onto the wall. That is okay because this is going to be held on by the window and by the top little, whatever you call that, not the baseboard, but the opposite of the baseboard, trim. Little trim piece is going to cover all of the top. If you look at the ends as well, you'll notice they're not perfect, but they'll end up sitting underneath trim as well. I'm going to use this stuff. It is very great. But it's also very messy, so I got to put on some gloves, and then I also need to get my bottle of acetone, that one, ready to clean up, because once it sets, it gets on there pretty tight, and the only way to clean it up is with acetone. That is why you wear gloves, for when that happens. Yep, that straight up broke. Great. So I'm going to go buy another bottle of that. You can already see it filling in. I didn't put all that much in, and it's already kind of bubbled up to the window there. I do need to get the top part before I can finish, but I'll have to wait until after I get back from the store. And with the trim installed, I'm going to call that done for today. Gotta let that film cure for a few days probably, and then clean it up on the outside, and then we can cut the hole right here for the window. Thanks for watching today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe so that I can keep growing the channel and share this adventure